swear I haven't been buying books. I really haven't. Actually, this is true. All of the books in this haul are books that I haven't actually bought, but I haven't been sent all of them by publishers either. So I will show you the books and you'll see as I go along. This is one that I did get sent by a publisher. This is from Windmill Books, which is a Penguin Random House imprint, and it is Spill, Simmer, Falter, Wither, which is a wonderful, wonderful title. I really like that title. You have to really say it out loud to appreciate how great that is. Spill, Simmer, Falter, Wither by Sarah Baum. Yeah, so I believe this is about a man and a dog, and this will probably just make me miss my dog a lot. So it would seem that this is a story about friendship and love, and is it a debut novel? I think it might be a debut novel. Yeah, it was longlisted for the Guardian First Book Award, so I assume that means it's a debut novel. Okay, so the next pile of books came from Penguin, and this is because I went to an event at Penguin, and this was for the launch of Yeonmi Park's book, In Order to Live. And this is her autobiography kind of story about escaping from North Korea and the transitions and the hardships that she went through. I haven't read this yet. I'm planning on reading it towards the end of the month with Stevie from Sable Court. Everything that I know about Yeonmi Park tells me that this is going to be a tearjerker and it's going to be a difficult read. So in that sense, I think it will be really good to do it as a buddy read. We got to meet Yeonmi as well and hear her speak a bit about her experience. And so having heard her speak, I think this will be a great read. Also at the Penguin party, they had bags. In fact, was this bag here. Penguin platform. They were the ones who organised it. So they had bags which had books in them, surprisingly enough. But there was this book here, which is Girl Boss, and this is something that I've been wanting to read for a wee while, and now that I have a copy, I shall do that. There was also an advanced proof copy of The Last Days of Summer by Vanessa Ronan. Well, it's a blistering story of vengeance and redemption and is the must-read novel for summer 2016. So clearly this isn't going to be out for a wee while yet, but it looks like it might be a sort of psychological thriller type thing. So that was in the bag, and there was also a little black classic. I do love these. And this is Jason and Medea by Apollonius of Rhodes. And I do like my classical literature, and it's very short, so it might be one to keep in my handbag. Now, perhaps most dangerously, they had a whole lot of books along their windowsill, and we were kind of sitting there and admiring them. And then towards the end of the evening, it was casually mentioned to us that we could take said books, and basically that it was going to be easier for us to take them than for them to have to cart them all back upstairs. So I may have taken a few. I was there with my flatmate, and yeah, we got very excited about this. So for starters, I got 3 of these little Penguin Essentials books, which I have been admiring for a while now. They're quite a recent release, but yeah, they're just re-releases of sort of modern classics. There's some Ian Forster in there and things. They all have a different illustration style, but somehow they all manage to go together quite well. And I'm not quite sure how they've done this, but I mean, you can see even just with those 3, they don't match, but in a weird way they kind of do. I can't put my finger on it. But anyway, so we got Perfume by Patrick Suskind. I do have a copy of this back in New Zealand, just a plain, ordinary pocket penguin, and I've been wanting to read it for such a long time, and now that I have this pretty edition, maybe I will. The only thing I will say about these is that they have teeny tiny print, really small print, but on the plus side, good handbag book again. Then we've got The History of Love by Nicole Krauss, another one that I've been wanting to read for a long time. And finally, In the Country of Men by Hisham Matar, which is not something that I had heard of. I've seen it because I really like this cover with that kind of Art Deco style, and the use of colour is rather marvellous. We have this really, really beautiful edition of 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Oh my goodness, this pattern, I mean, that's just jolly stunning. And then lovely orange in the end papers to match the orange on the front, and it's this beautiful textured, almost like a watercolour paper or something like that. I've been admiring this one for a while, and this is a book that I want to read. I tried to read it as an audiobook, and it didn't really suit the audiobook format so much because there are lots of characters and lots of them have the same or similar names because it's lots of generations, and basically I just got really confused. So I think this would be a better way of consuming it. And then the last one of the Penguin bunch is Mark and the Void by Paul Murray, the author of Skippy Dies. And apparently this is about art and finance, and is it about an art heist? Yes, so that piqued my interest. And also my flatmate really wants to read this as well. It's also a signed edition, and it's in this lovely box, and I can't seem to get the books out of the books. But when I come to actually read it, I'm sure I will find a way. They seem fairly thoroughly jammed in there. I don't know. So there are a couple more that were sent to me by publishers. This was sent to me by William Heinemann because they sent me the book Fates and Furies, which I read and reviewed a little while back. And then they contacted me and asked if I wanted this one as well. And this is something that I wouldn't necessarily normally pick up, but it sounds quite promising, and it's got such a bright cover. It's not going to show up so well, I don't think, on there, but it is really neon orange. This is like high vis orange. I suppose that goes with the whole high dive thing. I believe this is set in, is it set in Ireland or it's about Ireland? It's set in 1984. So it's about Thatcher and the sort of conflicts in Northern Ireland. Another rather interesting cover, and I really like this cover. It's not the sort of cover I would normally like, but it's got a subtlety to it, and I will show you. This is a sort of Halloween-y type book, I suppose. It's called A Ghost Story, and Granta got in touch with me and asked if I wanted a copy of this, and it has been compared to, or her writing has been compared to, Sarah Waters. What I wanted to show you about the cover though was that, I don't know if it's going to show up, but this has got a UV spot coating on it, and so it shows up in certain lights. It's over the text, but it's slightly offset as well. So, oh, can I get it to work? I don't think you're going to be able to see it that well, but it's ghosting the actual text, which I thought was really rather marvellous and clever. Oh, you might be able to see it better on there. I think the light is so bad. Damn you, Britain. I believe this is now out. It came out on the 5th of November. Right, so I designed a poster for And Other Stories, who are a publishing company and one of my favourite publishing companies. And they said that they don't have a budget for the poster, which always sets alarm bells ringing, but they said that they could send me some books. And to be honest, that's what I would spend any extra money on anyway. So I thought that's fair enough. That constitutes payment for me. So I asked if they could send me a few titles from their catalogue. And so we've got Double Negative. That's the thing with And Other Stories. They're all translated, and the names of the authors are challenging to say. This is Ivan Vladislavk, and this is about photography, or a photographer, which is very much like art. So I like books about art. I think I'll like a book about photography. All Dogs Are Blue by Rodrigo de Souza Leao. Leao. So many vowels. I don't really know much about this, to be honest, but I have heard a couple of people say that it's really good. So, and it's, again, very short, good size to fit in the handbag. Oh, I've just noticed this chapter is called It All Went Van Gogh, or Van Gogh, or however you choose to pronounce the name of Vincent. But that's a great name for a chapter, is my point. The last one is about music, and it is called Trajan's Ground, The Life and Sometimes Secret Adventures of Francis Trajan, Gentleman and Musician. And I believe this is a fictional account of, is he a historical figure? Yes, I believe so. And he just goes, he travels across Europe, across Renaissance Europe, and meets Shakespeare and William Byrd and Monteverdi, and plays music in the court of Henry IV of France. And again, rather marvellous cover. I really like this, with this pattern of man at a, is it a harpsichord, is it a clavichord, is it a forte piano? It's something that resembles a piano but isn't a piano. A pre-piano. I think it sounds rather interesting and quite different. I've got one more to show you before I leave you, and I'm sorry I've been rattling on, but I went to see Ali Smith at an event. It was so exciting. I adore Ali Smith's writing, and I adore her as a person now. She's so lovely and just lovely. So lovely. The event was the very first event for her new collection of short stories, Public Library. And appropriately, this was at a public library. This was Canada Water Library, which is really amazing. It's quite a new building. The event was basically her talking with her editor, and then various people in the audience sharing their thoughts about libraries and their experiences and reading bits from the book. And I'm really excited to read this now. But it also made me very nostalgic about my library back in New Zealand. And oh yeah, being a child and going to the library and it being like Christmas every time. That is the last book that I have to share with you now. Oh, that was so many books, but that's why I felt I needed to share them with you, because otherwise, I mean, obviously I'm not going to get to all of these for quite some time. So anyway, now you've seen them. If you have any thoughts on any of these, or want to agree or disagree with any of my thoughts or things, yeah, you know where the comments box is. I'll see you next time. Bye.